Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Mindless Full. On this episode, we have the amazing Alex McEleney. And if anyone listened to last week's episode, we spoke to his amazing mom, Louisa. And I believe it was divine intervention. It was your mom, the lady I recorded the first episode with, told me about Louisa. And then Louisa told me about you. And I just feel like someone else, bigger, a power greater than me, is choosing who comes on to share their journey. Um, and I know your mom told us an awful lot about you, and you just sound so inspirational, and I'm so grateful you're here. So thank you.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yeah. And, for everyone who listened, would have got an insight in your journey or some of the experiences you've had. But there's no one better to tell us about themselves than themselves. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so back in June 2017, the 27th of June, I was diagnosed with ALL leukemia. And I had the first initial treatment. I was told I was diagnosed, and then I was told it's 3.5 years of treatment, and it was like, oh my God. So you can't even imagine now what life's going to be like in 3 years' time, you know? So we got through it though. It was 9 months of heavy treatment, like chemo, steroids, all that stuff. Um, I say it as if it was easy, all that stuff, but
Yeah.
it was it was quite intense. And then I had the 2.5 years of maintenance, which was 5 days of every month of steroids. But like steroid effects are they last more than 5 days. Like it's kind of 12 days. So I had 2 weeks of normal life, and then getting worried about the next 2 weeks, you know. So even though it was supposed to be normal life, it was still, it definitely wasn't. It's still quite heavy, but I was at the stage where I could go to school for them 2 weeks, and then I'd be out and in for another 2 weeks, you know. So my whole school life was kind of up and up and down, you know. And then I got back to school. I was probably in school for like 3 months, and then I relapsed again. So I finished treatment fully, and 12 weeks later I relapsed, and that called for a bone marrow transplant, which we really didn't want to hear. So it was a few months of immunotherapy, and then it was on kind of depended on what my body did. So if my body didn't react too well, it would have been CAR T, but if it reacted really well, it would have been bone marrow transplant. And my body always reacts well to like chemos or immunos for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it always kills it. The problem is just keeping it gone, you know. So we did the bone marrow transplant, and it was really heavy, but I put in a lot of work with the diet. I went all fruit and veg for 3 months, um, and like soups and stuff. But it was so hard to keep that up. Like as soon as I got out, I was like, "Oh my God, give me a pizza," you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
But it definitely paid off. They said I'd be in there for 8 to 10 weeks, and I was in there for 22 days. So it was 3 weeks and one day. And they were like, "How did you do that?" Like fastest time they'd ever seen any kid do it. Uh,
Wow.
so it definitely paid off. And then I think I got a good 8 months out of that, but it never really settled. There was always a problem. And the final problem was fluid retention and high blood pressure. And I just knew something's not right here. Like, can we do a Bomber aspirate? And I hate them, but like I know I needed to do it. So we did that, and they said, yeah, we think it's coming back, and we'll do one more. So they did one more 3 weeks later, and it was close to Christmas, and my family were like, oh no, we can't do this again, and it came back all clear. So we had all Christmas and New Year's and all. It was all clear, and we were all happy. But there was still something just on our minds, and I was well, like I was okay, but there was still something there, just at the back of our heads. We just did one more, and they're like, "No, it's definitely back. We see it way more than before." But as a family, we genuinely needed that Christmas to just be with each other, you know. And I think that was meant to be that. It was a faulty test
Yeah.
because that's like they never
Yeah.
get. That's
That you
just
got that Christmas together and that time without, like, time free of kind of leukemia.
exactly, yeah, because we never had a Christmas without it, you
Yeah.
know, for the last 4 years. So that was it was needed, but then when it did come back around, it wasn't as much of a shock. We kind of knew it was going to happen. Even though the doctors didn't, we knew something was wrong. So when I did relapse that time, CAR-T was on the table, and they did that. And CAR-T was a complete game changer. Like they gave me 4 days of chemo beforehand, and then some immuno even before that. But like no hair loss or anything. I wasn't sick. Didn't really lose my appetite too bad. Maybe just a week of it or something. And I kind of flew through it again. Like it was 16 days in. I felt like after 13 or 14 days I was ready to go, but I was the first kid to have it in Ireland, so they were kind of on edge, letting me go home, you know. And yeah, I got 2.5 years out of it, and it was just like it was really normal life, but the fatigue was just really bad, and that never really went away. And I was on no, immunoglobulin, so it's like an immune system booster.
Okay.
It wasn't agreeing with me, like it was keeping me fatigued. Um, and then 2.5 years later, I relapsed, and that was December just gone. And they said, like, we don't know what to do here. So they started me on immunotherapy again, which did the job. Like, it did kill like a good bit of it. And we were kind of expecting December, maybe September to December to have something like maybe CAR-T again, or maybe bone marrow transplant was coming up again. And I just said, no, not a chance. I'm not doing that again. Um, and there's a few different variations of CAR-T. So there's like OB cell, and it's a bit more intense. And then yeah, as I said, kind of September we were expecting it. So that was going to be a long wait because it's only that's that's still another month away, you know, and I'm already done it now. So we got a call in May or April. It was actually April, yeah, end of April. They gave us a call and they said, something's on the table here. Uh, when you had your last CAR-T, they took 2 bags and
Mm.
they stored one away. And they had an expiry date for 3 years, and May was 2 years and 11 months. So they said,
Wow.
yeah, they said you're literally just on time, kind of. So we'll give you this, and I've had that. I had that a few months ago now, and I'm doing well now. So it's been 90 days roughly,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's gone well. But we went back in 2 weeks ago, um, with results for the bomber aspirate, expecting it to be all clear, and there's still a little bit of leukemia there, like kind of two or three within 100,000 cells. Um, and it's not bad news because the doctor did say like this, the chances are it could be there. So my dad took it as like it's not bad news, it's not good news. I took it as, oh, it's really bad news. And
Okay.
so did my mom, because we were going in thinking like, ah, it's gonna be clear, you know. Um, and it wasn't. But they did say just go off and come back in a few weeks and we'll do some more blood tests because the CAR-T is like a living drug, you know. So
Yeah.
it could still be chipping away at it, you know. But I don't really want to do another bone marrow aspirate because they are really intense, and the last time I had a lot of trouble with it. Um, but for like 3 days after they told us that, I was like, oh, like kind of impending doom, like worried about death. And then suddenly something just switched and I was like at peace with it all. And like the fear of death was just kind of it just kind of went. And it's the first time we've kind of been let go from the hospital in a long, long time. Um and it's like a bit of excitement to figure out what I can do
Mm.
myself naturally. And I have been taking things naturally that maybe people wouldn't agree with, but it's definitely working. And yeah, it's such a weird thing. Like when someone says, go off for a few weeks and we'll come back and do some bloods, you're kind of in no man's land. It's still not bad news. It's definitely not bad news. But it's not good news. So it's just like, well, where are we then? And it is just no man's land. but finding peace while you're there is unexpected, and it's actually really nice to feel like this, you know?
Yeah. Oh, as you're talking there, it was like I could feel so much emotion.
Yeah.
Wow. Um, and within that piece, has that kind of opened, you thinking, I know you had said to me beforehand about even like looking into like training and Reiki and stuff. And I know you've had some within all of it, you've had some real spiritual experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, so the day, okay, this was really weird as well. So the day that I felt that peace coming in, I went for um what do you call acupuncture. Um and suddenly something afterwards just switched and I was like, okay, I don't feel this anymore. And I went home to my mom and she said, I feel a bit more at peace with it all. And I was like, what? The chances you say that are unreal. And I was with another guy for craniosacral therapy. And he was like, you let go of that fear and your mom's energy felt it. So she let go without even realizing. Our our minds and our energies
Yeah.
are already linked before we even interact with each other. They're already linked, and I already know that. But yeah, it was just so weird. And then I was like, okay, it's time to move on actually. Like, because I was with my counselor as well, and I go to a lot of people because it does take a lot of treatments to get over this. But he said you knew it's time to move on, kind of. And even in the last few years, there's kind of been people saying just take your time, just recover. You have your whole life to do it, but like, what's the point of waiting? Just get into it, you know. And yeah, I really feel like I'm going to be doing some sort of energy healing, and I think I want to study craniosacral therapy in the future, but
Yeah.
that's a long course. I think it's 4 years, and then you can go abroad. There's one down in Galway, and there's one in London, and then there's some in Nepal. That's like the really deep stuff. But to start off with my mom to do a Reiki level 1 and then level 2, and then be able to take clients within the first year, would be nice to do, and especially including my mom in it, since she was the one who started first and brought it into the house, and it's completely changed all our lives. But yeah, she just said she's gonna do one again in the next few weeks, and would I like to be
Wow.
one of them?
Yeah, because she teaches it, doesn't she?
Yeah, because originally I was gonna do it in Bettystown with someone,
Yeah.
and I was just thinking I don't know how my energy will be because it is a whole day of it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do in a few weeks, and hopefully in the next 6 months I'll be fully trained and be able to take some family members and just see how I am with it all. But I definitely think that's my path in healing people in different ways, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I always think that, I don't know, do you resonate with this? But when I went through, my partner would have passed away a few years ago. I always wanted to hear someone who was going through it or who had come out the other side or who was given some kind of example of hope. And I
Yeah.
that's where I got hope. I didn't get it from someone telling me do this or do that. It was by someone from sharing their journey. And I've no doubt even you being on here, and I know you do amazing. I listened to you did a talk a few weeks ago. It was on Instagram and I listened to it and I was like, how amazing is it that you're going through this every day, but yet something within you is choosing to help others and be that inspiration.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think with the Alex's Army, my Instagram page, plug my Instagram there. But
Yeah, oh, definitely.
uh, I think that's really why I did it. I did it for myself as well
Yeah,
at the start, but now the results I'm getting is like all the giving people hope, and now we
yeah,
completely changed Alex's Army. Now it's all about hope, and even when I have a bad story to tell, I won't tell it in a bad way. I'll make it positive. But yeah, I think it's definitely changed other people's lives more than I thought. And there was a little girl that was sick, and I found out about her through another charity, and she was just going through a hard time. So I sent down a packet of sweets. Like it's a big hamper. You can order them online. Like it's only like €50 or something. and it's just a lot, a big hamper of sweets, and I sent it down, and I forgot about it, and then I got a text off her mom, and
Yeah.
she was like blown away that I was going through it as well, and I wasn't even thinking about it, you know, because
Mm,
I feel like it affects me more when other kids are going through it.
mm,
'Cause I feel like okay, I can take it, you know. It's a weird thing, like I can take it. I don't want anyone else younger than me to go through it because it's just, even when I was 11, looking at a 5-year-old, I was like, oh my God, it would get me upset, you know. But yeah, I think the the reason I set up Alex's Army was because I didn't have anyone else with the same story as me, and I needed to hear that. So for other people to be able to hear, even if it's not the exact same story, to be
yeah.
able to a little piece of advice, um, can go a long way, you know. And as you said, if someone else has a story that's not the exact same but is similar,
Yeah.
you can take little pieces out of their story and put
Yeah.
them in yours. And it's the same with everything. Like I've been to a lot of people about diet and about spirituality and about loads of different
Yeah.
things. And everyone has a different opinion. So if you just
Yeah.
take a little piece of their advice and make your own life, because what's
Yeah.
going to live in anyone else's life, you know?
Yeah. 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 And I suppose it's only, you can only do you, but by you sharing that, you're giving other people permission to be themselves. And I know another one of your videos, you share the reality, like you share both sides. There was one of them that I think you weren't feeling. It was a day where you weren't feeling as good, and you were sharing the reality of that, which is so powerful.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, that was I think that was after the lumbar puncture and bone marrow aspirate. I had it just went wrong. They pinched the nerve and then I got COVID the same day. And the
Mm,
pinched nerve was quite bad. Like I couldn't really walk for a week or so. And I think the scariest thing is they start making sure you're not paralyzed and then you start worrying about it. Um, but when I came onto Alex's Army, I was still in pain, but I was over the worst of it. But I know people want to hear the hopeful side of it.
yeah,
So I go into how bad it was, but you always have to start and finish it off with a bit of hope, you know.
yeah,
Um, and it definitely goes a long way because no one texts me saying we feel bad for you. They're like, oh my God, that's a great story, you know, and that's what
yeah.
people need. So it
Mm.
is it's definitely paying off.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have a vision for Alex's army?
Yeah, I think that will probably spiral into more of an energy healing thing. Um, I have a booklet as well that I created with Childhood Cancer Ireland, and it's just a little booklet that lists all the charities that will help you through cancer treatment as a young person. Um, and that's every time someone's diagnosed now, it's handed to them, so they can get a bit of hope. Like Make a Wishes in it, Oscar's Kids, Childhood Cancer Ireland, loads of charities, Cancer Fund for Children, all them. Um, because we didn't find out about the first charity until 9 months in, and that was hand in hand, which are a cleaning. They provide cleaning for the house because my mom didn't have the energy to be cleaning the house. Um, and that was a little thing. I didn't benefit off that at all because I don't care if the house is dirty, you know. But then we found out slowly about Childhood Cancer Ireland and then Daisy Lodge, which is Cancer Fund for Children's retreat. We've been there like 4 or 5 times now, and that really saved us as well because when you're in treatment, you're not allowed to go abroad, and you're not really supposed to go to hotels or anything. But that is like it's a cabin retreat. Um, it's a huge log cabin with loads of rooms in it,
Wow.
and they have medical staff
Mm,
there, and they have like they provide different foods for your needs and all, but it doesn't feel like the world of cancer. It's genuinely a getaway, and I just thought it was a shame that we found out about that after a year. You know, a kid could find out about that after the first week and be excited to go after 2 months. You know, so that's why I created that, and to think that kids are giving me feedback about it. I forgot about it because Childhood Cancer Ireland print them off now
yeah.
and like 500 copies a year. And there's roughly around 370 kids diagnosed in Ireland a year. So they're all being handed out and I don't even know it, but the fact that it's
Oh,
benefiting them is like it's such a simple thing. Like it started off in enterprise in fourth year, and it
Mm.
just spiraled. So yeah, it's amazing to be able to give back.
How amazing is that? As you said, like each child in Ireland who gets diagnosed with cancer is getting one of the leaflets that you made
Yeah, it
with
is.
all the services on.
Yeah, so it's yeah, it's all their services and then my story with that charity.
Yeah.
So like for example with Daisy Lodge, which is Cancer Fund for Children's retreat, I would have put my experience in. I've been there 4 times. At the time of writing, I was there 3 times. So I was there 3 times. Exactly what I did there. There's a little forest just literally 2 minute walk away with a little lake. It's honestly that I don't know if you understand this feeling, but that feeling of like in a forest,
Mm.
uh like okay, so I believe God is love. I don't know if I
Yeah.
about the figure of God, I'm not too sure about that, but I believe God is just surrounding us with love.
Yeah.
And I believe the concrete buildings and like the pavement and all and cars, they're all man-made, they're getting in the way of that energy. But when you're in that like forest space or on the beach or for
Yes.
example, you really connect and you can feel it straight away. And it's the strongest I've ever felt beside Daisy Lodge for some reason. Um, and that reconnection after being diagnosed was like, oh my God, I completely forgot that this was
Yeah.
for me. And even with people who hug trees, people think, oh my God, that's insane. It's not insane. It's
No.
it's it's healing. Like I've never really done it, but I know it's healing and that energy you're getting in that wilderness is coming off trees as well. And
Mm.
it's like, this is all here for us. Like, this is put here to heal us. It's already there. You just have to find it. And yeah, it's magical what you can find out through sickness.
Wow. Oh, I'm one of the tree huggers. I put my hand in there. But like that nature is so powerful, so healing. And I know you live by the sea as well, don't you? Or you
Yeah,
live close to the sea.
yeah. We went, and we're always walking along.
Yeah.
The mom loves the beach as well,
Yeah.
and my nanny passed away a few years ago, and she always feels like she's there at the beach. And we went up north for Carty, and again there was another big forest, and my mom went over to hug a tree, and my sisters were laughing, and I was laughing, and I was like, and they started walking off, and then I
Yeah.
was like, hold on, I'll be a few minutes. So they
Yeah.
walked off. I was like, I'm not gonna let anyone see this, but I'm gonna go over and hug the tree, and
Yeah.
what? This is crazy. Like you do feel that
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
energy like hugging you back kind of. It's such a weird phenomenon, but it's definitely real and no
Yeah.
one, no one can deny it once you do it.
Yeah. Do you feel like with your journey that you're so open to, the way you said, like even hugging trees or like the therapies you've tried, that having, being sick has just really opened your mind and probably opened your mind even when you said about God there, even opened it so much bigger to kind of question things.
Yeah, definitely. I think yeah, like when you're sick you only want to get better. Like a healthy person wants like a million things, a sick person wants one. But when you find out that there's little things like that that can help you get there, you'll just try anything.
Yeah.
And that's where it started, just try anything. And then you realize what actually works. And it's all the natural things. Always going out for a walk or getting in touch with nature. And I suppose like I'm a teenage boy, like most teenage boys are like, give over, really. Like, but I've had enough experience to find out that it's actually real.
Yeah.
Um, and I suppose most people won't find that out till later on in life, but it might be a blessing. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely experienced more than people, young boys my age, and even with the experiences with higher powers has opened my eyes to know that people are looking after me up in heaven or wherever you want to say, but there's definitely higher powers looking down on me.
Yeah. 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 And would you have anyone in particular, like would say like in a day, or if you were having a day that you were struggling or something, would you ever like talk to like a higher power or kind of ask for help or
Yeah, so I used to talk to God a lot. Um, and then my opinion changed of God. As
yeah,
I said, like when I was younger, I chose to believe. I just chose to believe, but I didn't really understand it at all. So like he's a figure maybe looking down on us, and then my mind only recently has changed to like God is that energy of love, and God is love, you know.
yeah,
Uh, and that's the one thing we all really want is to be
mm,
loved and to love, you know.
mm,
But I would talk to archangels, and I've had a lot of experiences with archangels, and I'll get into it now as
yeah,
well. Um, but at night, yeah, I'll ask the archangels to like protect me as I sleep. Um, and Archangel Michael, if I'm like in a bit of a rough situation, I'll ask him to wrap his cloak of protection around me, you know. And I get that from my mom. She always does
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I'm smiling now because some of these experiences are mental. But I'll go back to the first relapse.
mm,
So the first relapse, I was really scared because I had to get a Hickman line in, and it's just a central line. It goes into your heart and it comes out your chest, but it's really a foreign object coming out of your body, you know. And some people are fine with it, but I really wasn't able to cope with it. Um, but there was no getting out of it for bone marrow transplant because it was really intense, you know. So I had to have it. Um, so we went in one morning. It was a Monday morning for the surgery to put it in, and I was in such a bad way, and the nurses knew as well. Just with anxiety, like I wasn't, even though I was relapsing, I wasn't that sick.
mm,
Um, but yeah, it was just in a bad way. And a man walks in with the rest of the team that are gonna bring me up to a theater, and like I just felt his presence was like a different level, you know, a higher power. And I looked over at my mom and I was like, do you feel this too? And we kind of locked eyes and was like, this is a bit weird. Like we could feel it. Anyway, the team started talking and introducing themselves, and then he introduced himself, and his name was Gabriel, and obviously Archangel Gabriel. Um, and I was like, okay, I feel a bit better about going up to get this surgery done now. And then we tried to find him afterwards, and no one knew who we were talking about, and he kind of just disappeared.
wow,
It was just weird. But anyway, a few months went on, and it was time for bone marrow transplant. So it was 2 days before, and I have 4 days of chemo beforehand. So on the third day, actually, I had a reaction to the chemo. Um, my lungs scarred, and they kind of scarred open. It wasn't like it wasn't too deep, but it did scar open, and I couldn't breathe. And I woke up at like 2 in the morning and just couldn't breathe at all. And they were like, "Oh no, like we've never seen this before," and I was too at risk to go to ICU, so they had to kind of bring ICU down to me. Um, and it was really scary, like the scariest ever, because that was like when the team think that you're gonna die. It's
yeah,
like, oh, yeah, like I think I'm gonna die anyway, and they're like, oh my God, okay, this is really serious. Um, and then they brought the team down, the ICU team down. This is a completely different team. This has nothing to do with surgery. They brought the ICU team down, and he appeared there again in a completely different uniform with a completely different team. And I looked at my mom again. The same thing happened, and we were like, we'd wait for him to
yeah,
introduce himself, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm Gabriel." I was like, "Oh my God!" And that was a sign that it was gonna be okay, kind of.
yeah,
Um, and then he went again, and we tried to find out where he was, and he disappeared. And they were like, "Okay, this could take a while for this scarring to disappear." And I went back to sleep. It was probably like 4. I woke up at like 11. They did an X-ray again. All the scarring was gone.
wow,
They were like, "What? Like, how did that happen?" And me and my mom knew exactly what it was. And when when I did have that scarring at the start, my oxygen went down to like 85%, which is really quite low. Um, and in the morning it's back up to 99. And they were like, "What? Like this is crazy." But that was my first big experience with an archangel.
Wow. And you never seen, you know, the way like you would have been meeting doctors again, like
Yeah, yeah.
Archangel Gabriel, just you
Like
never
this,
see.
no one knows who we're talking about.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a that was a big experience with Archangel Gabriel. And then Archangel Michael as well kind of came in a bit later on. Uh, I feel like Gabriel was there to protect me when I was a kid for some reason,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
then Archangel Michael when I was a bit older. But this time around, they do the lumbar punctures awake, and when I was a kid, they never did. So, excuse me, it was quite a yeah, it was quite scary to be honest. And the third time they did it, I was just fed up with them, and I was sick of them, and I was just getting more and more scared. And you
Yeah.
think it'd get easier, but it doesn't. Every time you go in scared because you have to lie on your side in kind of like a fetal position, and you can't move. And they make it quite clear you cannot move here. So they put the needle in. Usually it takes about a minute, and then they start taking out fluid. But they have to find that pocket of fluid first. And they couldn't find the pocket of fluid. And they're there for about 10 minutes trying different areas, and it was really sore. And after 10 minutes I just got the message to ask Archangel Michael, like, help me out here. So I said a little prayer to him, like, I know you're protecting me, I know you're here. Um I want you to speed this up, please.
Yeah.
And I said, on the count of one, just help me get through this. So I said, okay, Archangel Michael, three, two, one. A split second, I said one, and I'm not joking. The split second, the team starts shouting, the fluid is coming because they didn't have the container, so that they ran over with the container. The fluid came faster than ever. It was done within a minute, and I usually leave that room on the verge of tears because it's so painful. And I left that room smiling, ready to tell my dad what had just happened. And it
Wow.
was like, what? Like, that is never so like so quick.
Yeah.
No. Um yeah, honestly that even now I'm smiling about it. Like it's just you can't write that. And if no one in the whole world believes in Archangel Michael, no one can ever tell me that experience wasn't real. Because it was, and it was just like oh, it's like you can't ride it really. You just can't
No.
ride it.
Yeah, it's a feeling, isn't it?
It definitely is. It's like yeah, I felt that he was there before I asked him, you know?
Wow. And even you getting that message, ask them, and then you did, and then three, two, one, like there's
Yeah.
so much power in asking, isn't it? Because if
That's
you didn't ask, you know,
well
they're there all the time, but it's the asking, isn't it?
yeah, that's what I was told after. Because my mom came in. No, actually I went home that day and I told my mom and she was like, you just need to ask. And with my counselor recently, he's been like, I know I need to be more open to receiving things.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with certain charities and with certain opportunities I'm given, like give it to another kid, they need it more. But me taking it isn't going to affect them, you know.
Yeah.
They'll still get the opportunity. Um, and yeah, it's something to work on. But that was the first message I've ever been like clearly open to. Yeah, you need to be just more open to receiving. And once you ask, you'll receive.
Yeah.
And that was a really good example because
Yeah.
it happened within a split second, you know. So yeah, that I think that opened me up this time again to realize that it is all here. You just need to be open to it. And then again, during CAR-T, on the ninth day, I was in for 11 days, so that was quite good. On the ninth day, my mom attuned me to Rouhani, and I was like, okay, because it's only a little simple thing. It's only a
Yeah.
few,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, yeah, we'll see what happens. And then when she fell asleep, and then I was like, okay, I'm actually gonna work with this tonight. So I asked all the archangels in, and Mary Magdalene as well. I never ever talked to Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
And my mom fell asleep, and then she went home, and my dad came in. And then it was time for bed, so I went to sleep. And at 6 a.m., the nurse comes in and she takes your bloods. And that was all fine. And then at 7, another nurse came in and she had red hair and like freckles. And like, I feel like I knew her, but I didn't know, you know. And I was fast asleep, but I was aware and I felt like I was awake. And she just started kissing down my neck. And I was like, oh, this is very inappropriate for a nurse because I thought it was the nurse still.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then I was like, oh no, it's my mom. And I was like,
Mm.
no, no, my dad's here. And then I was like, okay, it's my girlfriend Maisie. And I was like, no,
Yeah,
I'm in hospital. Maisie's at home.
yeah.
Um, and then I realized, oh my God, this is really inappropriate.
Wow.
So I woke up
Yeah.
and there was an aura there, the exact
Mm.
same shape as her.
Wow.
She was gone.
Mm.
And it was like she was on the other side of the door. She didn't want to show herself. But
Yeah.
then I fell back asleep, but I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't tell my dad, he wouldn't have, I wouldn't have just, I wouldn't have even told my mom. She
Yeah.
just didn't say this. But she said, so my auntie, her sister, they're kind of best friends, you know. She's getting into Reiki as well. So she did her first treatment. I think it was on my mom. I think that was her first treatment anyway. And she worked around her stomach. And she felt that my mom needed to release a bit of fear on her stomach, and that Mary Magdalene would come in
Wow.
and kind of take care of me
Yeah.
and her. And my mom told me that story. And then I was like, oh, I had this experience with this woman. And my mom was like, what did she look like? And I
Wow.
said, explain what she looked like. And she was like, that's Mary Magdalene. And I was like, oh my God, like you told me this the last day. And
Yeah.
then she took a picture of Mary Magdalene. And it wasn't exactly the same,
Mm.
but really, really similar.
Yeah.
And we were Googling and all. And apparently no one has the exact same experience with Mary Magdalene. They always look a bit different.
Okay. Wow.
I was like, what? That's crazy. Like, but yeah, it's all that's a lot of spirituality coming into play,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And I think even from chatting to your mom last week, yourself and your mother, there's a real synchronicity between the two of you, isn't there?
I think I think that was I don't think that was because of treatment. I think that was always
Yeah.
there. But I think treatment has kind of made us closer.
Yeah.
And yeah, with the energy healing that I want to do in the cranio, we were talking like we could be such a good duo, you know.
Yeah.
She already has her own business and she
Yeah.
does that in the house. And then we have the cabin. That's what I'd probably be training in would be the cabin. Um, but yeah, I think this can definitely spiral into something bigger in the future
Oh,
with the
yeah.
two of us, you know.
Yeah. And I think it's really clear from chatting to you, like say from this, it feels like from chatting to you now that you're not a victim to this, or that you've never been, even the way you speak about the younger kids, and you were very much going through it, and you've so much empathy for other kids, or giving them the opportunities.
Yeah, I think yeah, I've never really played that victim card because there's just no point really. Like I uh I always say at the speeches I do, pain's compulsory and suffering is optional. And it's so true because like cancer does bring a lot of pain and a lot of heartache for other people as well. But like you just choose not to suffer and it makes life so much easier for everyone around you as well. And you do you do find out quickly when you choose not to suffer and be more positive, a whole lot more opportunities come in for you. Because when you're just suffering and you choose to be a bit like
Yeah.
a bit sad all the time, you're not going to get anywhere really. You have to just move on. Um, but I'm not positive for
Yeah.
me. I'm positive for everyone else, you know,
Yeah.
and they're positive for me. So it's a two-way system. It's not just me. I surround myself with the right people as well, so they're always carrying me forward as well. So it is a choice, but you definitely have to have the right people around you too.
Yeah, and I'm sure on days where, there's a lot of emotion, or you're feeling sadness or anger or whatever, I'm sure letting yourself feel that and then kind of bringing you back, would you kind of do that, or
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like
yeah,
I'm not saying that there's no bad days,
yeah,
like a lot of
mm,
bad days, but
yeah,
a bad day should always end with a good day, you know. And Yeah, like I do still have bad days, but you can dwell on it for a few hours, but
Yeah.
just you you have to listen to your own body as well. If you genuinely need to cry all day, that's not bad.
No,
Like
definitely
it's
not.
really
No.
good, and people sometimes view it as a bad thing, like it's showing sadness, but like how else are you supposed to get it out, you know?
Mm.
But yeah, I try not to dwell on it, but everyone has bad days and like
Yeah.
no one can say they don't.
Yeah.
But that's when who you surround yourself with comes into play. And when I started the counseling, I was having a few rough days, like a lot of tears and a lot of anger, kind of. And my mom and dad were always there to me for me to just talk to them. And I was giving out as well, and I was just like, I was crying and as well. And they weren't trying to tell me what they felt; they were just listening, you know. And that's definitely what you need. But that's only like 5% of the time you can be like that. You can
Yeah.
really be annoyed at the world because sometimes it doesn't feel fair, but you have to just go with it and choose that this is happening for a reason, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And I know I mentioned your mom there, but your whole family, it sounds like you have such a
Yeah,
tight bond and a real support network.
yeah, definitely. Even my sisters, like I didn't realize until the last year or so, like how much I knew it affected them obviously because it's been their whole life, but like yesterday when I was at Clarence, I hope my little sister doesn't mind me saying this, but I was speaking a lot and it was the first time she's really heard me speak. And she was a bit emotional afterwards. She said it to my mom, like she was felt a bit sad after. And I was like, "Mm." Like I didn't expect her to say that, you know. She didn't even say it to me, she said it to my mom. But yeah, it's like they're always there for me. I'm
Mm.
never thinking, God, they're struggling, you know.
Yeah,
But no one's no one's robotic. Everyone struggles, you know. So I try my best to be positive for them
mm,
so that they can do the same for me, you know. And it's always a cycle. Everyone's trying to be positive for everyone, but sometimes that gets a bit too fake, you know. Sometimes you need to just sit down with everyone and be like, I'm struggling today, you know.
mm,
To be able to be that open with your family is nice, you know. And even when the girls, they're not as open, but when they do just accept that they're struggling, it makes everyone else's life easier because we can be like, okay, she's having a bad day. We'll be there for her, you know, rather
yeah.
than guessing. So yeah, it's my family have been there for me the whole way.
Mm. And as you said, they're just it's so healing, isn't it? When you might be feeling like you need that support and you've got those people there to listen, to hold you, to let you cry and be there. That's it's so healing and
Yeah,
so powerful.
yeah. Even with like that's why I put a lot of time into other treatments, alternative treatments that the hospital would say alternative
Yeah,
treatments. I think at this point in my life, the hospital is an alternative treatment, and
yeah,
all these other treatments are the main ones. But that is why I put a lot of time into them because it's healing, you know. And sometimes you have to go through something really hard in life to realize that it is that healing. Like a lot of my friends wouldn't bat an eye at what I do for myself because I don't need it yet, you know. And it's okay as well to be at that stage. Like I just need it and I figured it out early. Um, but yeah, I think while I'm doing this for everyone else as well, I need to prioritize keeping myself at a nice, mindful space, you know, because my head gets full really quick with worry. But yeah, I have a whole team, not just my family, looking after me. So even archangels, I know that's a whole separate team. So
yeah.
I know I can talk to them whenever I want.
Yeah, well, I even from listening to you, and I said it to your mom last week, and when you came on before we recorded this, I think you're an earth angel, and I have no doubt, you're going to train in Reiki. But I think even now, being in the world, like you're already bringing healing by being you, and how amazing is it that you're choosing to uplift and share your journey, and think of all the other people as well, like Do you know you're an inspiration? Is it hard to hear that or
It's not, I understand, I
yeah,
do understand when people say it, but people seem to be like amazed on another level.
yeah,
Like I'm proud of myself
yeah,
completely for what I've
good.
been. And like I know I could have
Yeah.
been completely negative about it, and
Yeah.
people wouldn't have said, "Oh, you're amazing." But I think I think I've figured out people say, "Oh, you're so amazing" because of the attitude,
Mm,
not because of what I went through. And I went to a guy recently as well, and it was quite a. I was really struggling at this point. Like, I was quite upset, um, with everything, and we've had like 2 hours. We were talking. I went to him for
mm,
craniosacral therapy, and we had like 2 hours of talking, and it ended up being 3 hours of talking, and I just left, and we didn't even do any cranio. It was just a big counseling session, and he didn't take any money off me, and he's he's an angel on earth. Like I've never met anyone with no ego in person, and when I met him, I was like, oh my God, he's an angel on earth, Um, but yeah, I went to him, and he was like, you're not amazing. And I was like, oh yeah, nice one. And then he said, you're not amazing because you went through cancer. And I was like, okay. And then I was looking down, and he was like, look at me. And he said, you're just amazing. And I
yeah.
was like, start crying. I was like, what? Like, I didn't know why I was crying, but I just looked down, and I was like, oh my God. Um, and then I realized, like, I associate people saying you're amazing with me having cancer. But
Mm,
people don't say it because of that. They just say it because of the attitude I had towards it. It's not because anyone can go through cancer,
yeah.
but you can be negative and get through it as well. And you wouldn't get that much amazing, you're this, you're that, if you were being negative about it. Um, so when he said that, and he made me realize that people are saying it because of my attitude towards it, completely changed everything. And I feel like since he said that, I take the compliments better,
Yeah.
not like not basing it all around the treatment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think you're amazing. Anyway, if you met me, I used to work with teenagers and I used to tell them all the time, you're so amazing, you're so amazing. And they'd be like, oh my God, she's so annoying. But I just think children, teenagers, everyone needs to hear that
Yeah,
they're, and in the world we live in, it's hard, especially sometimes in Ireland, we find it hard to take the compliment.
definitely.
Um,
I think everyone needs that little, even if because I know exactly what we're talking about.
yeah,
In school.
yeah,
Kids are like, oh, you're being
yeah, yeah,
weird.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
what
yeah,
moment do you remember that comment?
yeah.
And that used to happen to me before I was ever sick. Like,
Mm,
I wasn't quiet or anything. I was quiet, but like I was in a good group.
yeah.
But there was one teacher that said it once, not you're amazing, something else that had nothing to do with school or nothing to do with sports. It was just to do with me. And I was like, okay, ooh, that's a bit weird. And then I went home, and for like weeks, I was like, oh my God, like no one said that to me before. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, people, especially kids, definitely need it.
Yeah, yeah. And I have to share something about inspiration. So years ago, people used to say to me, "Oh, you're inspirational." And like that, I used to think about because for me, it was just something I felt like I loved uplifting or giving people hope. It just felt natural. It felt like whenever I did it, my soul or my heart it just felt happy. And then I thought about inspiration and if you put in spirit, so in spirit. So for
Yeah,
me, I felt like actually the inspiration word was me connecting to that spirit, my soul self, to something greater. Whereas before, I wasn't connected to that. I don't know, does that resonate with you?
definitely does because
Yeah.
people, even as you said there, like when I was thinking about other kids or when I sent that little girl the hamper, uh, I wasn't like a lot of people would do that and look for praise for it.
Yeah.
I did it and I completely forgot about it for like 3 weeks until she messaged me.
Mm,
And I was like, oh yeah, nice, yeah. And then my mom came down and oh, sorry, actually, it was my mom that got the message. My mom was like, when did you do this and all? And she was amazed by it, and I was like, yeah, it's just pass. It was like a passing comment. It was just
Yeah.
easy to do, order it, send to their address, whatever. Um, and I forgot about it, but my mom and dad were kept talking about it all day, and it's like, yeah, that like giving back kind of, like I was told recently that there's givers and receivers. So like receivers can work a 9 to 5 for their whole life and never get burnt out because
Right.
they're just mm, I don't know what it is. It's like their energy is just made to receive more, and
Yeah.
they can just do that. And it's a personality thing, or it's like it's just ingrained in you. It's not good. It's not bad. And the givers, like I think my mom's a giver,
Mm.
like with the Reiki, but in everything, she'll get burnt out easier, and
Mm.
she'll need a nap throughout the day, you know. And I think I don't think you learn that. I think you're just born with it. So I think yeah, like that inspiration and trying to boost other people is just a natural thing, and I think you can excel at it definitely. But I think there's definitely some naturally gifted people that are willing to do that, you know.
Yeah. Right. Well, you're definitely one of those. And everyone has to check out Alex's Army on Instagram because I just think who knows what you're going to do now. And you're already bringing great healing and sharing like your journey and helping people. And you've just got so much empathy. And I just feel so blessed to have even got to speak to you today and to meet your mom. And yeah, that through everything there's been this real spiritual evolution as well, and this connection and support from all the angels. What would be your last message to finish this on for anyone who might be listening who's going through something really difficult and needs to hear a little bit of words of hope or inspiration?
Yeah, I think as I said earlier, again, like that pain is compulsory, or yeah, pain is compulsory and suffering is optional. Like you can take that as you want, but like everyone goes through something hard,
Yeah.
and you can choose to suffer or not. But also, just be kind to everyone because everyone goes through something way harder than you think. I know my mom told me a little bit about your story,
Mm,
and for me, that is a different level to my story. And you might think my story is a different level to yours, you know. But
mm,
everyone is going through something. So go easy on yourself and go easy on everyone else. And that's what makes the world go round, you know. And if everyone did that, the world would be so much better of a place, you know, because there's so much going on in the world that could just be changed if everyone was good to each other, you know. And yeah, as I said, everyone's going through something. So just remember, even when you're out in traffic and someone's slowing down or speeding up and you're like, what is this? What is he doing? Just he could be in a rush to the hospital, you know. That's what I always think. If someone's overtaking me and being stupid, I'm always thinking like someone could be dying and they're going to the hospital, you know. So yeah, everyone's gone through something.
wow. Well, how powerful is that? And such a poignant message. Kindness can do definitely massive things. And I've no doubt you've been sent here to change the world as well.
Yeah, thanks. I hope so.
Definitely. Thank you, thank you, thank you.